Okay, so everyone, my name is Prashant. Last 19 years I am in the IT, but I have left IT sometime before. Okay, and I'm purely into now the sessions. I'm pure into the banking domain specialist, that kind of thing. I'm doing the sessions, attending the sessions, and giving sessions as well on frequent basis nowadays. So this is my third batch now, which I'm going to give sessions. So the most important thing is that when it's come to ourselves, right? We don't want to invest on ourselves. That I feel very honestly, because nowadays what happening that everyone want to conduct their sessions on weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, and 8 hours you cannot invest. You can invest 8 hours, but you cannot learn it completely. That is my observation. But yeah, it's depend on everyone that if they want to attend on daily or weekend. So what happened due to that? In 8 hours only, daily 8 hours in Saturdays, Sundays, you're not able to grasp quickly that much as provided by other people. So it's my request always that you have to attend all my 25 sessions, 25 hours, more than that always. So that will enhance your knowledge on day-to-day basis. You cannot drink water at the same time, right? So like this is also. I want to give the knowledge on day by day basis, so you can gradually learn it, because shift is a very critical part. When I start explaining after 3 or 4 PDFs, you will start jumping and say that, okay, I don't understand anything. But yeah, if you learn daily that part, it is very great to understand what exactly cover is that. Okay. So apart from that, about myself, last 14 years, I am into this banking domain technology section. Okay. I personally work with clients in UK almost 6 years, Netherlands, Holland is the same country, then Singapore, and I was in Brussels as well, where Swift is located. Okay, so I personally learned from this thing that how this has happened. I am a PSPO certified. I am a Safe Agile certified. By the way, our sessions contain some BA and Agile knowledge as well, which I will give for at least basic understanding of how Scrum works, how Safe Agile works. So from that point of view, also get beneficial for you guys. Okay, that's another thing. And one more thing is that I am taking to the session now one by one. As I says to you that my observation is that people don't want to invest themselves. When I said invest themselves, that they want like in very less fees cover everything. Okay, that's not possible. If you want quality content and quality guidance, you have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. That is my suggestion always. I'm going to say it depend person on person, but yeah, what I say, if you want quality things, you have to pay for it. That is sure for this. Okay, so I don't want to take more time now on this. I am going to start with one of the basic of payment. What exactly basic of payment, that I'm going to start, and I am going to run now. Okay, I'm not going to stop and explain everything, because this is all the things we are covering in our 25 sessions. Okay, one by one. So what is basic of payment, I'm going to cover here. That okay, I am going to take this session from very basic, from ABCD till alpha beta gamma and sine theta cos theta. Okay, so so now you see that it's very starting feelings are very less. Feeling is very simple, payer beneficiary, but it will gradually increase the scope of this. And and after some time, in last session also I faced that some people what lost totally. They asked me twice and thrice and like that, because this will not cover in a 8 or 6 hours. It require 25 to 30 hours, which is my personal observation, depend on how many people want to okay, that is thing. So now, what is basic payment? There is payer. There is one payer beneficiary. So that is always concept is here. So how it is ease of use. We are using check payment, wire payment, transfer, electronic payment. That is happened already. So there is always a middleman who do the bank job here. That is a banking institution here. Okay. So this is very simple. You everybody knows that we are doing now UPI. UPI very fast than other things. But always there is a middle bank. One is sending payment, one is receiving payment, and that's it. Okay, that is the flow of normally payment happen. Everybody knows that. It's very simple. So what is that? Pay means somebody is sending the payment, somebody is receiving the payment, and there are the intermediaries are there. Okay, this is a very basic thing. You must be aware that. And there is a crucial role played by the each government, each clearing agency in each country, like in US, Fedwire, ECB in Europe, BACS and CHAP system, and Bank of England in UK. Okay, so there are the SWIFT system, and SWIFT and SEPA are the messaging system. And now, if you're talking about card networks, then we have Visa and Mastercard. So what I'm doing now, I'm quickly walking through the PPT as well. I'm giving the syllabus as well, what I'm covering one by one. Then we are going to cover RTGS payment, then your real-time net settlement, what exactly has happened, your nostro concept, then the nostro concept, then your clearing concept, the image clearing, when you're doing the payment settlement, that time how nostro and vostro are clearing is done. So that also we are going to cover slowly when we are gradually moving forward ahead. There is a concept always, the front end is there, the payer is there, intermediary banks are there, and pay is there. Okay, so always this is will be there in your landscape. We are going to discuss where exactly Swift fit inside and what is. When I said Swift is nothing but a messaging system. That is, everyone is clear of that. Okay, okay. One more thing. There is a question and answer and solution kind of discussion at the end of this session. So if our meeting is end in 1 hour, then I will going to join again. You have to join again the same meeting, so you can ask me the question after this. Okay, I already discussed many points in afternoon as well, but today also evening also I will going to discuss. Then we are going to discuss about various payment methods: cash, check, debits, payment order, then automated batch system like direct debit, reserve pay was very famous, NEFT, ACH. Then we will touch point of the some of the credit card, debit card, also the charge card, all this stuff also we're going to discuss. And what are the electronic payment like wallets, IMPS, this kind of thing. We are touching. Okay, by the way, we are still in the very basic mode. We are not okay. This is a very intermediate part of the payment start where we are going to discuss in a detail, not only for Indian payment but other payment as well. The payment initiation part, the authorization validation part, the clearing part, the settlement part, the reporting part. So these 5 stages of part we are going to cover in each and every scenario, whether it is a old Swift system or new Swift system, whether it is MT103 message or MT202 message, pack set messages, packs 9, all are those are the Swift messages system. Okay, so for everyone, if you're asking about this clearing and settlement is done, this is a role play by the country's regulation part. For example, in Europe this is a EBA, in and is target 2 in settlement. Okay, in India this is role play by the RBI here, both are RBI here. In US it is a Fedwire like this. So these are then Australian Payment, Bank of England, Bax, Chaps, all this play their individual role. But our Swift fit only in the passing the messaging system from one payment initiation till your reporting. Okay, so there are messages like I paid messages, MT10 messages, the authorization validation is done by the individual banking network, and at the end reporting is done by MT9 series message, all this stuff. So we are going to study one by one. Then we are going to study high value payments, low value payment, mass payment, real time payment, direct debit, customer credit, request to pay, book payment, onward payment, inward payment, and corporate payment, retail payment. So based on differentiation we are going to learn this as well. Then batch system, for example, in UK require 3 days for payment to be processed if swipe a debit card or by online payment. Then real time payment like UPI here. So we are going to discuss that as well in a detailed manner how they are processing. Then depend on Indian, if you country India, what are the things are free, what are chargeable, how many days is required, whether the bank to what is the limit for that. So we discuss on that as well. Days for the NEFT mode or like that. Then same for US as well, how much is the fees for that, how many days is required. Chips is very famous or Fedwire is very famous in US, so that we discuss. Then a simple flow of this, there is one payer bank, payment CSM, pay bank, pay, and like that request to pay. Okay, till now it's very simple, whether it is direct debit or direct credit. Direct debit means our ECS, your home loan, the direct debit things. So till now it's very simple. Now the main part also is coming, is very simple to understand, that Swift messaging system. Swift is only a messaging system. It doesn't carry funds. That is a thumb rule. Okay, only it's having a messages. So we are basically going to learn about Swift only here. What are the Swift messages? So all the Swift messages from across the world. Okay, what are the main part of Swift messages like big code, IBAN. So those things we are going to see in a detailed manner here. That is one thing. Then what messages we are going to study, that also mention category 1, 2, 3, and 9 messages. Those are the messages only we are going to study, that is widely used in the overall the market, overall the payment. Understand until you are skilled in something like security 5 messages, which is a trading messages, security messages means which is used for trading. So normally we are going to study category 1, 2, and 9 messages, not the other message we are going to study. Those are simple messages to understand. So this is the scope of our very basic things, and like what are the normal empty message look like basic header, coder, each and every significance of field we are going to study, each and every what are the field 70, 71, block 1, block 2. So this is the we are going to study. And after that we are going to study difference between ISO old messaging system like MT ISO 1502 and ISO 222. Block 1, block 2, block 3, what are, this is the old one, this is going to replace by now ISO 222. So in ISO 222 how the message look like, it is in the form of XML which is replaced. So we are going to see that kind of thing here. So this is a one PP presentation I have, which we are going to see in a detailed manner. In this presentation at least I take 4 to 5 days to complete, 4 to 5 hours when I am explaining in a detailed manner. Then we are moving to the detailing of the payment. When payment is processing, at accounting is doing reconciliation, we are doing fees and charges are calculated, fraud management, payment investigation, exception reporting. All these phase of payments are coming when we are moving ahead. Okay, when you are transferring the payment, at that time reconciliation will done, the liquidity will change. At the liquidity, as per the liquidity, how much bank has to keep it with them, what is the cutoff time, how many charges are there in call, what is T plus 1, T plus 2. Normally India is moving toward T plus 1 settlement in trading now. So that kind of things we are doing, going to discuss it, accounting and reconciliation things. Then this is the major diagram of our ISO 222, how it is going to work. This is a self-explanatory. Many of the interviews and many of the client discussion going to discuss this diagram only. If you explain this diagram end to end, then it says that you are understand everything and you are a knowledgeable person. Like pane 1 is initiating, then outgoing pack set, incoming pack set, CAMT 50, all three are the reporting messages. Pax 4 is the recall messages, CAMT 56 is the cancellation message, like this. So we are going to see this. Then the fees and charges. So how many fees and charges are there for each and every messages that is mentioned in a fee. So different, for example, fields in empty series it is called Ben or and Shah. In packs it is called depth, credit and Shah. Okay, like this. So those are different messaging system and their fees how they calculate it depend on the charges. So we are going to see in that same. Okay. Guys, can you go on mute? Otherwise, I have to mute it, everyone. Let me see, I can mute it. Thank you. Um, then payment charges. Paying, who is paying? What is the role of payment gateway? Who is creditor bank, creditor and payment, where to verify? The charges are there. So those things also we can covering here. Fraud management, if systematic there, if sanction countries are involved in there, what is the fraud management and that how to cover it in banking system, like using a payment engine. That time authorization 4i check, 6i check, that is. After fraud detection, how to handle personally manually, what is the flow of that, it going to be fraud. Then investigation of payment, that thing. The exception handling, if payment has been turned to manually, how we can solve it manually. Okay, so these are the normally flows of payment initiation: single payment, bulk payment, cross border payment, then honest payment, which is payment on our book payment. So those things also we are going to see in a detailed manner, like offers payment with offers payment here. Okay, then return payment versus reversal payment, that concept, SEPA versus SWIFT, this is also we are going to see. Now the third basic now, by the way guys, we are in the basic presentations only. Okay, we haven't touched at very critical part. Now we are starting slowly, gradually increasing our pace. We are touching more and more things, which is more of ISO 222. So everyone is knowing that by November 2025 this year, all unstructured data is converting into structured data only. So for that, this is ISO 222 messaging system, very important. And we are going to work on only payment system, not the other one. Okay, that is the objective here. And it is work on a UML language, your ISO 222 for message. Okay, the basic information about ISO, their helpfulness, beneficiary, how it's beneficiary for us, that mention it. What are the messages we are coming for that one? Pain packs and CAMT messages, initiation message, pack set, packs 9 or CAMT 57, 56, that message we are going to cover. Again, this diagram already we have explained. Then the in ISO 15022 or empty messages, and what is changing in ISO 222, that we are going to see. No, we are no more calling as a bank, we are calling as an agent now. So the agent can be displayed as agent now instead of a debtor is calling for a new ordering customer, creditor is for beneficiary customer. So that's a changing name, we are changing as ordering customer for a debtor, like that in ISO 220. Like message sender is instructing agent, message receiver is instruct agent. So like this changes are there which we are how to recall. And the individual field name for the original ISO 1502 message, There are some more field introduced, for example, ultimate debtor, ultimate creditor, ultimate debtor. Those fields are not there in existing ISO 15022 or empty messages. Those are introduced in this messages. So we are going to see in detail what is exactly message. If I give the example of what is new field introduced, ultimate debtor, if you here. So for example, if you consider, if you're walking to a bank in a, you're walking to a money control agency where you want to send fund to India or outside, that time you are the person ultimate debtor. You don't have the details of that bank with you because you are approaching to the agency of money conversion. You show your ID card, passport, they will register it, and that debtor will process the payment for you. And the debtor's bank, for example, if it in UK, that bank, maybe Lloyd's bank, will process your payment, and in HDFC bank in India you'll receive the payment. And this kind of flow is newly introduced, which earlier was due to the 9/11 attack. This ISO 222 introduced cover 200 packs 009 cover messages. Inside all the details are very much helpful for transferring the payment. Then particular empty messages and their equivalent field in ISO 222, how much is duplicate, like group application header, basic application header. We are going to see at a very glance in some time only all about how it look like. There we are going to study pack set messages, which is a payment processing messaging in detail. Okay, what is the content of the pack set, packs 9, packs 2 message, which is the status messages, packs 2 cover message, where is status of that, packs 4 messages, CAMT 52 is reporting messages from here. This is also reporting statement messages, and simple flow of pack set message, how it processing, and the reversal of the payment. Okay, so, and corresponding mapping of the payment. If MT103, what is corresponding mapping in pack set messages? Like this, we are going to study this as well. Then at a very high level, we are going to study what are the SWIFT. Okay, now we are going to study CBPR, means cross border payment receiving. Okay, CBPR plus. So CBPR country basically on the SWIFT network, and it is based on the SWIFT code, which is BIC and IBAN. So we are going to study what are these SWIFT IBAN codes, each and every code, and there are some SWIFT rules also present. If you already know what are the MT103 and 202 messages, for example, in cover payments, always a field 2020 is replaced by field 21 in MT202 cover. So this kind of just like this, thousands of rules are there. So we are just giving touch point that okay, how these rules are configured. And there is agency payment PMPG, who is independent body, makes the SWIFT rules. Then we are going to discuss netting, bilateral netting, single netting payment we are transferring. Like always in UPI, we are doing we are doing the reconciliation at we the reconciliation part, which we are doing as sending a payment, clearing a payment, and settlement of payment. At that time, both banks, the difference is calculated is called netting instead of sending a payment. Okay, but this is the structure of our Indian banking system. The RBI stand is in the center. Okay, and RBI send the payment from bank 1 to bank 2. Like this, there are thousands of bank connected to RBI here in the center, like this. And this RTGS is real time gross settlement. Whatever the UPI payments we are going to send, these are part of example of this only, real time gross settlement going to discuss. And final settlement, like IMPS and chips work on final settlement. So this will be, we'll discuss again. And the network you are saying in the between, they are sending and receiving payment between clearing house is called SWIFT network, which is going to be a study. Okay, at that time we are not going to study individual clearing and settlement system of the bank, that is individual to each country, like Fedwire and chaps and UK. Those are restricted products. For example, today if I say RBI, so we cannot study RBI, how this work, how NPCI works. That is very individual restricted products. But what are the information available on Google, on Swift, my standard, CBPR, ISO 222, on their individual website with some special access, we can study this all these things at very slowly, instead of doing the individual product system. We are not going to study any bank's product system, but whatever information available on the by Swift, which is important. So there are many Swift like Swift, chaps, settlement currency, chaps, UK, Fedwire. Those are the settlement of each bank. We are going to study Nostro concept, already we saw. What are the Swift messages? 1, 2 category messages. Already we have discussed about which message we are going to study. MT9, from MT1 to 9 series we are going to discuss, and what are the changes happening in ISO 15022 Then individual structure of any ISO, any MT messages we are going to study, and this is look like this one. Okay, so when I says what is MT103, is first digit is only category of the message, second digit is zero, which is electronics or paper. In this our case is electronics, and three is the type of specification. Like this we are going to study in detail. Then some flavor of investment banking also I will cover. It's not part of this session, but I would like to give information on that as well, because IPO, merger, submerger, acquisition, this all under comes in the primary market, which is called investment bankers, which are like JP Morgan. These are the banks which are not work like giving and taking loan is a long, it's a job of a bank, but investment bankers are not taking and giving loan. They only they only have research in handling the big forge fund, big hedge funds, then acquisition of the fund, merging the fund, merging two banks, separating the two banks or entity. So this kind of job we are going to discuss of what is the fixed rate, RBI giving loan to bank, what is base rate, repo rate, reverse repo rate, interest rate, those kind of things we're going to discuss. Then I will touch point on the some part of the card payment, also how debit card works, how credit card works, as very slow, very high level, because I personally not work on debit and credit card system, but knowledge wise I am going to give explanation how it is working. Okay. Then okay, then I am going to walk you through the SWIFT guidelines, okay, the CBPR handbook, which is the Bible for us. So this is total 990 pages of document. Out of that, I am going to cover at least 300 pages of this. So how I'm going to read this, that I will show you, I will provide this document to you as well, that how this is has to read. These are the basic convention map of this, how to read this document. For example, if I open any one messages here, so if I open this ISO 222, so what is ISO 222? What are the messages we are going to use? What is the content of the message? How the structure of the messages is there? For which purpose, which messages we are using? What is CAMT 50 messages? How the messages has to read out? For example, PAX 008 message, how to read out it? Then this diagram just now we explained how this diagram is present. Then the structure of any packset messages, okay, then XML messages, what are the important part of any messages, big is there, if mandatory fields are there denoted by one on one, if optional is by 01, like this. Okay, so these are the things I want to discuss with you. One more thing, any messages here we are going to study, for example, financial institution message. So when I start with this message, I'm going to walk you through the content of the message, how it is look like. If you want to see how this message look like in a bigger picture, it look like this. There are more than 300 fields are there in this message, but I will walk you through later this, but I'm just giving flavor of this message, how it look like. Okay, it is group header, credit transfer information, the two main part of the messages. Then message is moving from one part to another part. There is a status message also generated, so that we are going to discuss. Bank person A and person D are the last. Middle two banks are the corresponding banks. When we two banks don't have relationship with each other, the corresponding banking system is involved. That is called intermediary banking system. So those also we're going to study in detailed way. So this is the content of the each and every message. For example, message identification, the date and time, the formatting, number of transaction, what are the different settlement method. This is newly introduced in ISO 220. The payment is going to settle by which system? By the bank system, by the cover system, by the instructing agent, that we are going to see in detail way, and the particular diagram of that. So like this Inga and clearing. So these are the messaging system we are going to discuss. By the way, guys, I'm going very much faster here, but don't worry, when I'm actually taking this session, it take almost 3 to 4 sessions for each message to understand it. Okay, so it is just for now, we are just taking the glance that what we are going to cover. That's why I'm taking it so much fast. Just now we have discussed that if you compare with the MT103 message, there are 53, 54 and reimbursement agents are there. So those are the things which we can compare with the original message. So this is going to be again a huge interbank settlement date, amount, content of. If you want to see in the real life how this message look like, I have just shown you. I will just guide you through now. Okay, these are the things we just now saw, that what are the content of the message, like header, date, what is the content, pax2 message here. So this is the sender big, this is the receiver big. Okay, this is the instruction ID, and who is going to send this payment, what which is the method is you are using here, then which versions we are using. So like this we are n number of messages going to work on this system. Okay, there are so many messages, these are really less fields, there are 300 fields sometimes in a message, how to see that field. Okay, this is one thing. And when we are actually moving what are the charges are there, bench, crate, okay, all these things we are going to discuss. And how much charges are there, how we are going to deduct it, that also in detail. These things are already provided by Swift. This diagram is also available by Swift by my standard. So same thing I am referring you. I'm going to explain each and every example. For one messages I need at least two sessions to understand you. So if you understand one message completely, then you understand complete. Okay, so like this message is still going on, still going on, still going on, still going on. Okay, it is message still going on. So all this if all, okay, these are the real example in how this their use cases are there. So I'm going to walk you through the use case as well. So like this total 10 to 11 messages I'm going to walk you through. For example, just now we finish one message here, this is a new message now. So like this we are going to study at least 304 to 400 300 pages of this 900-page document, how it is done. Then there are basic questions about ISO 222 which I derived from various Swift banking systems. So what are the uses of this one? What are the real life example of this one? How we can define that one? This is especially for interview purpose and knowledge purpose at the time of asking interview. So these are the very helpful for you. I'm going to share this as well. And there are some scenario based questions already I have discussed with you. I'm going to close this as well. Okay. Then apart from this, now we have a reference message given by just now we discussed, right, how to read this message. So this is one of the category that only. For example, this is a PAX 8 message now. So how we are going to read this? This is the structure of PAX 8 message. For example, okay, this is a group header. This is business application header here. This is a group header. Inside that one, there are settlement method, settlement account, interact settlement date. So this is a parent and child. So this is message, complete message. If you are saying I'm going still scrolling down, this is a complete message of 300 fields. It is still here. Those all fields are not till here. All fields are not mandatory, but I will walk you through each and every field, what is significance of that field, how you are creating a message with that, and how these fields can be used correctly in the system. Okay, now I am going to walk you through that how empty message is mapped with empty MX message, because this is currently project going on, mapping ISO 15022 to ISO 222. That is mapping also going on. So I will just tell you how that. Okay, for example, here interbank settlement date, how it is mapped. So this is come under credit transfer information, interbank settlement date. Okay, and it is settlement date and amount. And inside that, if I open, this is mandatory field. One amount is mandatory. If I open this, what are the rules and regulation to write down interbank settlement amount? Okay, so and if it is rule fails, what is the error value should be done? So if you are a BA, yes, your duty to configure this rule in your code. So this kind of things are given by Swift for us to know that. Okay, then what is the interbank settlement amount? The amount also defined that it should have minimum zero values, minimum digit 18, fraction digit should be 5, and the format should be currency, CCY, and active currency, like this. Okay, this is the format of your currency. So this is the format of your empty or packset messages. If you want to compare this message, for example, just now we have seen, right, interbank settlement amount. So what is this field is map? This is field is map in 32A in your MT103 message. So you have to write down like this: FI to FI, customer credit transfer, interbank settlement amount, and then amount here, and then closing bracket. So this is a complete mapping of any structural message which you are seeing. So this way we can map the field also. So this is the one thing. Okay, so this is mapping also. I will like to know you that how to mapping is configured here in when you are doing a migration project. Normally this is a Swift converter available, but for understanding purpose I'm going to show you how this mapping is done. So like this, there are totally so many fields are there, but there are parent and child relationship we are going to see in detail. So this is the parent, what is the child of this, then the child of this, then child of this. For example, if a creditor agent is there, means the payment, who is sending the payment, right? So for example, this is the person who, for example, debtor. Okay, what is the name of debtor here? So when is data is composed of so many fields. Name, we are going to see postal address, because we are going to study in detail now structure and unstructured addresses, which might have seen that what is the structure address, what is unstructured. This is the structural address. It is totally going to be structure address from November 25 this year. So how much structure address, what was happening earlier? For example, any bad name is there or any terrorist person is there whose name is also a building name or a street name, that payment was getting held for manual checkup or manual repair payment. So due to that, there are lakhs and lakhs, millions of transactions happening daily. So all these payments are getting hang manually at repair payment and has to be done manually. So lots of manpower was required for that one. So how to avoid that? It is avoided by getting more structural address. So building number will go to this, state will go to this, floor will go to this, like this in detail address. So this is called a structure address. So currently Swift ISO 222 is following the structure address only. So this is pack set messages. Like this we are going to study all the pack set. If I come to the MT103 message which we are going to replace, so these are all the fields of MT103 message. We are going to study in detail that what is value date. For example, just now we have seen a sender beak, receiver beak, and all this. Just now we discussed, right? What is 32A? 32 is an optional field here, and what is the format of that field? Like 33B should be there, 32A. What is that? If option A is there, then date, currency, and amount should be there. Okay, so same thing. If it is not there, what error code should be displayed? So I will walk you through the MT103 message complete series as well. That what are the significance of each and every field and how to read that field. Okay, for example, here it is 51 52A is sending ordering institution, means sending bank. For example, you are sending payment out of the India, then your bank is HDFC bank here. The receiving bank is 57A is Lloyds Bank in UK, and the receiver person name is YZ here, and the sender person name is 32A 50A sender here, who is sending the payment 50A. And if charges are involved there, which are the charges going to be put like this here. So those things we are covering in a one of the session here. Okay, then we are going to touch some basic Swift product as well, like Swift GPI, Swift Go, Swift Net, all the products of Swift, which is Swift selling for the individual bank system. We are going to study this product as well in a deep. So Swift GPI is tracking of payment in your universe, where is payment you are lying. Once a payment is sent from a person or organization, there is a unique transfer number UATR is attached to it. So we are going to discuss that UATR payment, how the payment is getting tracked throughout the universe and which messages are involved in that. So especially it is found in block 3 of a payment, that UATR, and there are many projects parallel running for the UATR of banking system. With the help of APIs and MQs, we can track the payment using this product Swift GPI. We are going to cover at least 2 sessions for this one, how Swift GPI is going to work. Okay, and then some personal notes about how nacha works. Okay, how nacha works, which is the our Indian payment system or UK payment system, or how ACH works. So that's my personal notes, which also I will share with you. I will walk you through that, what is that, and when payment is failing in CBPR countries, what are the error codes are generated. Those also session will click one day only. Then the new field which is introduced in ISO 222 ultimate data, creditor data, we are going to have a session on that as well, with the screenshots, with the flow diagrams. So that will help you to understand this. Now we don't have to call the as a agent. We call as an agent only. The debtor means you are sending a payment, creditor receiving payment, initiating party, forwarding party, which is not involved in the chain like this. There is some real-time example happening in Swift, published by, for example, the ultimate mapping is, their mapping is missing in object, and those mapping also we are going to see that if some mapping is missing, how to map that payment. For example, in Swift has recently published that for in ultimate data and creditor was missing in your MT, how to cross map them. So those fields are going to map in field 70 and 70. So those are the real-time example in Swift. We are going to discuss that as well, so we can understand what are real-time challenges we are getting. And some HVPS payment. HVPS also high value payments are there. What is the comparison between CBPR and HVPS payment? That also we are going to discuss in detail. Okay, this scope is too much detail now. If I also one more thing, if we are doing CBPR migration now by Swift, what are challenges we are getting and how to overcome this challenge. For example, here is saying that some banks have reported the use of the value not provided. Okay, so this is literally a word. By putting not provided, it is problematic for that agent, the generate transaction failure, for example in option B and C of 52A. So how to avoid that? This is given CBPR recommendation. So like this, we have hundreds of example here. How can we solve a real-time problem in Swift? So that also we are going to walk you through. Okay. So there are some basic BA terminologies, like what is BA, what is its focus role, what's FSD, RSD, audience for this one. So we are going to discuss some BA flavor as well sometimes if you required. Okay. Just now we have discussed HVPS. We have discussed this as well in scope, in detail we have discussed. Okay, apart from this, there are some basic banking terminologies which I missed to tell you earlier, so we are going to discuss this as well, like banks, customer, payment flow, banks, with exchange, clearing and settlement. Okay, then who is doing this clearing and settlement, charges, FX rules, charges, forex involved in that. So SWIFT and SEPA, what are the basic themes which that also we are going to cover in some sessions. Okay, let me see now which things I have missed. Oh, we have discussed this as well. We have discussed this as well, CBPR payment. Okay, then yes, we have covered this as well, and we are going to discuss what is target to SEPA, then EBA, Fedwire. So some basic rules about this also we are going to discuss in coming session one by one. So that is agenda of my all the sessions training. Actually almost I take 40 to 50 minutes today. I cut short in a small time. I can explain some more messages here, but I don't want to burden on the same day today, because this message is going to be in a detailed manner when I'm personally taking with you all these messages. Okay, so this is the pattern. I just want to whether I have covered everything or not. So yes, I have covered everything. Oh, one more thing, we are going to discuss Bank of Canada's Linux system also. There is UPI system of Bank of Canada, how that work. That also we are going to take care of that. Then what is the account wash account, which is the basic system of payment. That also we take at one of the session. Okay, and okay, almost we have done. Yeah, we have missed this one. How Bank of India bank, this is a bank's automatic clearing system of UK, how that is working. We have one more session for that. Well, how Bank of England cover this 3 days payment session, that we'll take a faster payment of that. One more thing, and target to, how target to work, real time gross settlement of European banking system. We are going to study that material. What is the main value of that? How TIPS is working? TIPS is now like UPI in Europe, so that we are going to study that as well. Okay, and between the mandatory versus optional field, which is earlier and now, which are that? So we study that as well. Okay, and how the payment SEPA scheme works. SEPA means single euro payment area. In Europe, 38 countries come together to form a single currency. That is the SEPA country. There are different projects running on throughout the world of this SEPA. So we are going to see in a short way which projects are they are going to work. Okay, that projects are given by Swift SEPA only on their website. So we are going to see that projects. Okay, then in 2025, which are the banking system we are going to study in coming years. So most of the things are based on the earlier only, but still like VoIP, like with account number, we are going to verify name as well for sending a payment. That is yet to come to India, because we are verifying by mobile number now, but it is already existing in UK and Europe. That project will come. That what exactly? Then currently the coexistence period going on, where we are supporting old message and new message as well, how that is supported. So this is trending topic in coming years, the 2025. Like this we are going to discuss what are the coming for trends in payments here as well. So almost